fall against the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto. Now just 5 games remain for the 2021-22 season. Final score of 5-2. No scoring in the first period, but 7 goals thereafter. It got quite busy in this hockey game. And the Flyers actually outshot Toronto 38-29. Jack Campbell, good game, providing Toronto with some good goaltending. But Toronto, timely scoring and proved to overwhelm the Flyers is kind of the way I look at it, Bri.
Yeah, they certainly did, and I've been watching these numbers the whole game. We didn't mention it in the second intermission because we just kind of ran out of time, but the possession numbers, like we have data on who has the puck because the puck's got a chip in it now and yada, yada, yada. Toronto possessed the puck just under 34 minutes. Flyers, 24 and a half minutes. They had the puck 9.5 more minutes than the Flyers did in that game, and yet we're outshot 40-29. And on one hand, I'm a little impressed that they had the puck that much and the Flyers held them to 29 shots. But unfortunately, it didn't matter in the long run. But basically 28 shots when you count the empty netter. But yeah, that's Toronto. They cash in on their chances, and that's why they've got now very, very, very close to 300 goals on the season after tonight, because they're able to cash in on those chances, and they're able to cash in on mistakes that other teams make. So they're very efficient like that.
Yeah, I mean, this game, it's a 5-2 final. They get an empty netter, and yeah, there were some mistakes, and and they ended up in the back of your net. But this was not an egregious performance from the Flyers. I look at this and go, that's a team right now. Won 4 straight, 8-1-1 in their last 10. They are humming over the last 14 games and playing their best hockey of the season, frankly. And the Flyers undermanned. I didn't think that there was any effort issues at any point, even in that second period where, they came out of the period down 3-1. And, I look at this and I go, okay, that's about what you would expect if those teams played, a decent game, and they did.
Yeah, and again, we look at the goals that Toronto did score, and you see mistakes on a couple of them. The Kampf goal in the third ends up being a double deflection, and we were chatting off the air. I mean, I would have challenged that goal, but I'm sitting here at home on my butt with nothing at stake, so it's easy for me to say that. But it was a double deflection regardless of whether there was interference or not, and you can't blame Martin Jones for anything on that one. You can't blame him for any of the goals really, but again, the Flyers did play probably as clean a game as they could up until the last goal there in the second period. I think that probably might have taken a little bit of the wind out of their sails there for the rest of the game. The shots ended up being 9-9 in the third, but they were a lot more lopsided than that early on. I think they were 6-2 at one point. I think they threw everything they could at this Toronto team. But again, it just takes a couple of little errors to give Toronto the opportunity, and that's what they took tonight.
Yeah, and looking at that Kampf goal again, I think the reason they don't challenge it is because Nylander's got inside position on Provorov, but Provorov doesn't let him pivot out of the blue paint. And does it impede Jones's ability to make the save? Absolutely. But again, it's not that he went there, without contact from the opposition in Provorov in this case. And it's not like he went there and camped out and didn't leave of his own free will. He was kind of being kept there by Provorov, and it ends up bouncing off some legs and ends up in the back of the net.
And that's exactly what we were discussing that. Like, okay, that's why they didn't challenge it. And I, then at that point, maybe I wouldn't have challenged it. But once I realized that the puck hit him, and now they're saying that it didn't. Now they're giving it back to Kampf. So
yeah,
and every time I watched that replay, I couldn't decide whose foot it hit.
Yeah,
but it has gone back to Kampf now, so it didn't hit Nylander. So yeah, now we're back to that valid point that they held him there. If it had hit him, then I think that takes that out of play. But again, it's borderline at this point. It's not a big deal either way. But again, it's a goal that is There were a couple of goals like this that were just kind of broken plays too. The goal that Travis Konechny got caught out of position on. Yeah, he was out of position. But that was also a bit of a broken play too. That puck didn't go where Toronto intended it to. And if you watch that replay again, you see all four Flyers kind of turn toward where that puck was supposed to go to, and then it bounced right back to where it came from. So I like that. I like the game for them overall tonight. I don't like the result, but I think it's a better game than what we've seen the last 3 or 4 games from this team.
No doubt about that. No doubt. And the other thing, I mean, they could have challenged it and they would have called Toronto. It would have been,
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been a long distance call.
knock, knock.
Yeah,
It's like right down the street, isn't it?
yeah, probably. But nonetheless, Flyers go down 5-2. Ronnie Attard's goal, woofa, what a shot that was. He just goes short side, just over the glove and just beats Jack Campbell, who I didn't think gave him too much net there. It was just a perfect shot, beat him.
Yeah, yeah. It was right before this, the Flyers had another bid that same sort of move here that Campbell goes down on it. He goes down to make the to make that take away the bottom of that net. We've talked about this and playing the percentages. It was Travis Konechny actually on the shot, and it didn't get through. And he gets reset, but Attard, that sucker was moving. I don't know if a lot of folks realized he had a shot like that. But if he can come in and contribute that every now and then, that's going to make him even more valuable to this team. That was that's a gutsy move as a guy in your first dozen whatever NHL games, and you come into Maple Leaf Gardens. You come into Toronto and on a stage like this, and you do that. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and Campbell was kind of like, he didn't just score him, did he? He almost couldn't believe it. He was apoplectic after it went in. But it was just, I mean, because Campbell is almost even wrapped a little bit on that outside post, so he's not giving him a ton there.
No.
But he gave him the width of a puck, and he found it, and it was just an unbelievable shot. Attard's second as an NHL player, so he's got his second goal and third point already in his young NHL career. Tremendous shot there, and that's the one thing about him that we heard quite a bit about when it comes to Ronnie Attard. So Flyers go down. They'll be in Montreal coming up on Thursday. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more. It is the post-game show. There's Brian Smith, Jason Martinez. We're back after this on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Toronto Maple Leafs, final
Well,
score of 5-2. Toronto picks up the empty netter, and the Flyers will be on to Montreal to take on the Canadiens. I'm assuming they're going tonight, right?
Yeah, they should be tonight.
So go to Montreal tonight and take on the Canadiens on Thursday night, 7 o'clock. As I look at my trusty paper schedule.
Yeah, that caught me by surprise too.
Yeah.
A lot of times you go to Montreal at 7:30, but not this time.
Yeah. And Montreal right now with the second worst record in the NHL. They had, bar none, the worst record for a long time. Arizona has now garnered that, but has played one less game. So 2 points back of Montreal, have played 76. Montreal's played 77. Seattle then with 56. I think they were in action tonight. 1 point back of the Flyers. So let's take a look at the score and see if Seattle maybe has a chance. Well, they might be playing on the West Coast, so we may not get a final.
Yeah, that game probably is going to get started in just a little bit here. Takes a while for the magic screen to show us what's going on around the league.
I guess they're not playing tonight.
Oh, they're not. Yeah, you're right. They're not.
Yeah, I thought they were playing tonight. But nonetheless, we'll see how these kind of play out down the stretch here.
Got Colorado
for the NHL.
tomorrow.
Other in Colorado?
They have Colorado at home tomorrow.
And that's not likely.
No, it shouldn't be, but
Colorado 9-1 in their
Islanders beating the Panthers 2-0, so I guess you never know.
Yeah. It's an odd year, no doubt about it. The scoring and just everything. I mean, that's what almost makes it a little bit more perplexing, Bryce, the Flyers' inability to generate goals this season, because scoring is up and they've just struggled so hard to generate good opportunities and lofty goal totals. And I mean, you look at their schedule throughout the year and, a lot of teams, have, a lot of those games, 5, sometimes 6, 4 goals is pretty normal. And the Flyers just haven't gotten there. I mean, the Flyers are 9-7 in 1-goal games. Part of that is they've given up so many empty net goals.
Correct. Yeah. And then they've given up, they've got 43 losses now. They've given up empty netters in probably roughly half of those games. There's kind of 1 or 2 games where they've had more than one empty netter, I think, against them, but not many. But yeah, I to me, in terms of the scoring, and like everybody's scoring all these goals, why aren't the Flyers? That's one of the areas where I fall back a little bit on the injuries. You got to go back and look at certain points in this season when the Flyers had 9-10 guys on the injured list. Atkinson, Giroux, when they were playing, those are the guys. Atkinson made it through most of the season without any issues until recently, and then Giroux didn't have any injuries. But those guys were on the ice; they were scoring. But Flyers haven't had Sean Couturier since I think roughly December. Ryan Ellis only played the 5 games. Some of the other guys on this team that were expected to contribute. Kevin Hayes obviously missed just about the whole season up until March. He played a few games in between the 2 injuries, but he wasn't himself because of that infection. Joel Farabee, 18 games in 2 separate stints, so he hasn't been able to get going as much as he would have liked. So there are guys here that would have contributed on the scoring side of things that have not done so because of injuries. You still, though, would look at some of the other guys on this roster and wish they would have maybe contributed a little bit more to the goal totals. Travis Konechny has had an excellent, I'd say a pretty good year, at least a step back toward what he was in 2019, 2020, but he still only has the 14 goals. Oscar Lindblom, we're not sure if he will be the player that he was before his diagnosis. But he's got 11 goals. Even James Van Riemsdyk just getting to 20 goals, the other night, you would have hoped to have a little bit more from him. So, a lot of the guys that, might have provided some secondary scoring, it didn't come as much as they would have liked it to. That combined with the injuries, that gives you, the goal totals that the Flyers have this year.
It's amazing. The only guy that really has got any work done on the power play is James Van Riemsdyk. He's got 8 power play goals. The next highest on the team is 3. That's Konechny and Giroux. Mm-hmm. And obviously the power play has been a huge struggle all season long. Kevin Connaughton left this game, and the Flyers are – I don't know who you would even call up if he can't go Thursday. I mean, at this point, who are you calling up? Kimmo Timonen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember who I was talking to the other day that was a former player that said, "Bring your stuff." I don't know. I can't remember for sure who it was, but I mean, yeah, they're gonna need defensemen. That's for sure. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms played tonight. They were on the road in Providence. I have absolutely no idea what goes into getting a Phantoms player from Providence, Rhode Island to Montreal. Granted, they do have a day, but
Need to be tested though prior to this, don't
yeah, and that's what I mean by I don't know what goes into it. You gotta do something. And I heard rumblings about that you didn't need to test to get in anymore, but you needed to test to get out or something like that.
they? Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what the situation is at the moment. I just know that it's probably not the the most the best situation in the world. Who you call up, I don't know. The Flyers, if you recall, they brought in two guys in training camp, Nick Seeler and Adam Clendenning, who we looked at and thought maybe they'd be equal, but we thought we'd see Seeler more because he was a more physical player, whereas Clendenning was more of a offensive-minded defenseman. And so that's what happened. They kept Seeler and they sent Clendenning down, and we haven't seen him since. So maybe this is finally his shot to come up. I don't know. Just looking at who played tonight, I off the top of my head, but I don't know that any of the other 5 players that played tonight for Lehigh Valley are on an NHL deal unless Linus Hogberg's got one. Wyatt Wiley's down there, but I'm not sure what his situation is. So
I guess you could recall him on emergency conditions in some way, but the other part is
I just don't know what the contract
I don't know.
implications are. I mean, if a guy's on an AHL only deal, you can't call him up at all.
Yeah.
And I think the Flyers, after all the people they signed in this last few weeks, are up to 50, if not 40. They might be at 49, but I think they're really close. So I don't know. Clendenning seems to me to be a possibility without a doubt, but I don't know about the other 5.
Yeah, I wonder, did York and Ristolainen travel?
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah,
we don't know that either. So
that would be
could be 5D.
Did.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Obviously,
and I wouldn't be surprised either if they were close. I wouldn't be surprised if they went and they didn't come. I wouldn't be surprised they went through whatever testing was necessary anyway.
Yeah.
Just
in case,
just to make sure.
Yeah.
Cap Friendly says the Flyers are at 48 contracts right now, so I might have lost track of a couple of them. But yeah, I mean, it is a very interesting thing that they've got to deal with right now in terms of who they're going to bring up. I'm looking again down. Wiley does have he is on his entry level contract. Cooper Zek is down there on an entry level deal, and Hogberg is as well. So it could be Brendan Manel actually is on something. He's got an NHL deal too. So I guess 5 of the 6 guys that played tonight could come up. So we'll see what happens.
And we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully, Connaughton will be able to go, and it'll all be moot. All right, let's let our radio audience go. And the Fanatic, let's start with our thank yous. And we start with the man back at the station. That would be Pat Egan, our in-studio engineer, did a great job tonight. Who was on highlights, Pat? Benny Odita on highlights tonight. Somehow I don't think that's true. For Tim Saunders, Steve Coates. For Tim Saunders, Steve Coates, Brian Smith, I'm Jason Martinez. You've been listening to Philadelphia Flyers Hockey, a 5-2 loss against the Toronto Maple Leafs on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Good night, everybody. See you, Pat. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. We can't go long here because I have to go to the bathroom really bad. I'm like, oh man, I should have went before we started postgame.
Welcome to the behind the scenes, folks.
Yeah,
as we sit here,
have the thimble-sized bladder. That is me in a nutshell. Oh my goodness!
Anybody play defense tomorrow night?
Yeah, we're taking resumes. Quick video clip of your highlights from high school, and we'll see if you can pass the grade. I want to do the the NHL Draft Lottery Simulator a couple times
Okay.
because I lost a game. So you figure, all right, let's go. Here we go. Tankathon. All right, first spin.
It does put us up in third right now, actually, by the way.
Oh, it does. Oh,
Yeah.
because we're in that fourth spot now.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's third again. That's where we are right now. That's where the Flyers are in third because that's not a move up or a move down.
Woohoo!
That's based on points percentage. That's why.
What a night.
Yeah, it's based on points percentage. Flyers have a 740 points percentage. Seattle has a 747. So Flyers are in third here. Okay, let me hit it again. Still third. It's kind of holding chalk here. Arizona, Montreal Flyers. Oh, Flyers slide down to fourth on that one. San Jose picks up the number one pick, moving up 9 spots with a 4.5% chance to move up to number one. And the Flyers slide all the way down to 5. That's an outrage.
I keep seeing them slide down to 5. I'm going to stop clicking this stupid thing.
Yeah, they now have a 10.9% chance to come in the top spot on the lottery. There you go. All right, so
the Chicago,
Seattle.
By the way, the Columbus pick that Chicago sent to them is top 2 protected.
Okay.
So Chicago gets 1 or 2, they keep it.
Okay. Like here, they landed 5. I have the Flyers 1, Seattle, Arizona, Montreal, Chicago/Columbus. So that's not top 5 protected. Interesting.
Yeah. I actually just ran one where Vegas won the lottery, but they moved from 10 to 5.
Oh, because they can only move up that far?
As far as you can go, yeah.
I'm seeing the increased odds here because I just hit the Flyers for number 1 again. Moving up from 3 to 1. There's Buffalo winning it. Yeah. I'm going to be on this stupid thing all night.
Oh, just wait until next month.
No. God, I know.
How many hits is this thing going to get?
Yeah. Oh, see, there's Chicago wins it there, but the pick is currently not traded because it is protected 1-2.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's a couple of variables that exist within the system there.
Yeah, last thing you need is a team like the Islanders winning it with 1.8%.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
that would be outrageous.
But again, I believe, if I'm understanding it right, they could only move up to 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't move all the way up like you used to.
And that means, right, too, if that rule was in effect when the Flyers won in 2017, they would have only moved up to 3rd, right? Were they 13th?
Yeah. They were 13th. They went to 2.
Yeah. So.
And I think the Devils were 12 and moved up to 1.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that's why they put that rule in.
Yeah. Unreal, right?
So
crazy. All right. We'll be back at it Thursday. That'll be a big game Thursday with these two teams because from a points percentage standpoint, Flyers are at 740 and Montreal is at 662. But can they even catch each other at this point? I don't know.
Yeah, this is points per game, right? So, yeah, they'd have to. I mean, the Flyers lose out, maybe.
Yeah.
They're 6 points up on Montreal right now. So that's a 4-point game coming up on Thursday, baby.
In all the wrong ways.
The wrong way, but it's a 4-point game.
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah, well, I guess they obviously can't, I don't think, drop lower than 2.
Yeah.
They got 8 points up on Arizona at this point with 5 to go, right? So
yeah,
that would take.
Look, if you're gonna get the number 1 pick, you're destined to get it. Doesn't matter where you. Yeah.
San Jose Sharks, by the way, have lost 10 games in a row. Have you seen this?
Yeah, they're a mess.
Yeah,
they signed Hurdle to that extension, and things went sideways. They can't defend.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of guys there that can't defend at all. It's crazy. But we'll see. All right, let's end this so I can hit the head. So we'll do it Thursday. We'll do it Thursday, 6:30 for Flyers Habs.
Thursday, 6:30 here only because we got what is that? Parks or?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Somebody's in a casino somewhere, so we'll be on
corner.
We'll be on the Fanatic at 6:50, but we'll be on here at 6:30.
Yeah, that's Anthony's got the Cuz's corner at Parks.
Yeah.
The Cuz. It's gonna be beautiful. All right, everybody, have a great night. We'll talk to you Thursday.
All right, folks. We'll see you.